This is a setup demonstration for the Geek Vape Zeus Sub-Ohm tank. Inside the box, in addition to the tank itself, you'll have a little goodie pack filled with a few extra items, including a spare coil that will be a little different from the pre-installed coil, a replacement glass, replacement seals for the tank, and a tool that can be helpful when changing out the coil, which we'll demonstrate in just a moment here. And underneath the foam padding, you'll also find a user manual from the manufacturer. Taking a look at the tank itself, the Zeus Sub-Ohm tank is a 5 milliliter capacity tank that has above the coil airflow to be more leak resistant, potentially. One thing you do have to take into account, though, is any liquid that might otherwise leak out if your coil is flooded will still be sitting on your coil and can cause gurgling in the event of a flooded coil. To open the tank to refill it, you simply grasp the top cap section here, give it about a half turn, and pull up. It has a notch locking mechanism inside the top cap. To replace it, all you have to do is set the top cap in place and turn it until it sits in the groove, and then about a half turn to close. The mouthpiece is an 810 style mouthpiece, removable and changeable. Your airflow control ring here at the top. You can turn it to open or close your airflow to your preference. For changing the coils, you'd flip the tank upside down as usual and unscrew the airflow base from the base of the tank, and that exposes your coil. There's not a whole lot of protrusion here, so it can be a little difficult to simply grasp and pull the coil out. That's why they include the tool. It has a hole stamped in the other end of it, so if you're like me and you want to have it always with you, you can string it onto your key ring, and you simply take the tool and insert it just under the collar of the coil there and lift up. One thing I like about this is it allows for virtually mess-free changing of your coil. You don't have to touch the coil that's been sitting in the liquid and get your fingers full of liquid. Drop that in the trash, grab your new coil, and you can either manually prime it by applying liquid to the exposed cotton wicking ports on the sides of the coil, or you can simply install it, fill your tank, and give it about 5-10 minutes to saturate before use. There are two different types of coil for the Zeus tank. The one that comes pre-installed is a 0.2 ohm coil that is rated in the range of 70 to 80 watts. And the backup coil is a 0.4 ohm coil that's rated, instead of 70 to 80, 60 to 70 watts. You can run the coils a little lower than their recommended wattage ratings. I've done it without any issues, but just bear in mind that the best bet is to always stick with the manufacturer's recommended wattage rating. When installing the coil, you'll notice that there are some notches inset inside where the coil goes, and there's a couple of notches that stick out on either side of the collar of the coil. You do need to line those up and make sure that when you press the coil into place, it's sitting flush. And then you simply screw the airflow base back into place, like so. Then if you've pre-primed your coil, you can fill it up and start going right away. Otherwise, fill it up and give it that 5 or so minutes to saturate. If you find yourself needing to replace the glass on the tank, it's simple enough to remove by removing the airflow base, grasping the top of the tank, and a gentle twist and tug to pull the glass section off. And then twist and push to get it back into place. There are two seals holding the glass in place, one down here near the coil and one up towards the top cap section. That extra box of goodies inside the box will come with replacement seals for the tank, just in case you should ever lose them. It's highly unlikely that they'll be damaged, so they're pretty much just in the event of being lost when you disassemble to clean your tank. That's about everything you need to know for setting up the Geek Vape Zeus Sub-Ohm tank. Happy vaping!